Okay, so this is going to be for the full moon in Cancer 2022, which happens to be the first full moon of the new year. 2022 is definitely off to quite a start. I mean, there's a lot of things happening. We're coming out of Venus retrograde. We have Mercury retrograde that just started. We also have the node switching into Taurus and Scorpio this week. Like there's a lot that is going to be happening, which I will be covering in separate videos. But for this is going to be about the full moon in Cancer, and you can watch this one of two ways. You can watch the overall video. That way, you have all the signs in one video, or you can watch it the individual videos. Okay, so the full moon in Cancer, it occurs on Monday, January 17th, 2022. Okay, don't ask me what fucking time, child. I have no idea. Okay, but at some point on Monday, it occurs. Okay, now full moons, they always, they're present. Well, they provide like a monthly opportunity to wrap up projects that you started 6 months or even 2 weeks ago, right? They're culmination points, breaking points, and a chance to release anything that's no longer serving you. So the monthly full moon is prime for contemplation, as often the days around it are robust with change, insights, epiphanies, and decisions. Often, circumstances out of our control pop up during this time, which triggers us to examine our own thoughts and feelings and their influence on the reality that we exist in. So, anytime that there is a transit, whether it be Mercury retrograde, a new moon, or a full moon, whichever zodiac sign it falls under is what themes is going to come up. So, because this full moon falls in Cancer, which happens to be a water sign, emotions are going to be front and center. So, heads up, this is sure to be an emotional time period, okay? As always, there will be opportunities to move ahead, but that's only if the emotional energy is channeled into productivity in order to sort through any leftover toxicity or baggage that you may have carried with you into the new year. Y'all know my fucking motto: get on your shit before shit gets on you. Pretty much, okay? So anything that comes up, especially if you are one of the signs that is going to be, heavily affected by this transit, definitely make sure that whatever comes up, you don't try to run from it, you don't try to hide from it. Just deal with it, okay? When you work with the universe will work with you and in turn bless you, okay? Whether you're able to see that short term or in the long term, okay? So, with the energy of Cancer, the full moon encourages us to delve into our feelings, okay? Self nurture. It allows us the opportunity to work with our inner child and learn to create the emotional safety needed to operate at our full potential. And it's time to nurture yourself the way that you've always wanted to be cared for, to connect more deeply with those that you could be vulnerable with, including your family, blood, or the family that you've created. It's time for you to tune into your inner child, give them a hug, and remind them that bitch, you're powerful, okay? Now, another planet that is going to be affecting this full moon is Pluto. So you can expect a lot of Scorpio-ish type of themes coming up, okay? Because Pluto is the planet of death, okay? Pluto is ruled by Scorpio, or Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, rather, right? So themes of like death, power, control, obsession, transformation even, is going to unearth what we've hidden and what we've avoided, while the sun and moon is going to shine a brighter light on these issues at hand. Now, in order to move forward, we must first confront buried pain and past trauma. Okay, power is the overall name of the game. So, power is going to be a huge theme for the next few months because of this, and this full moon is sure to kick up that energy. Now, full moons are reflective of culminations and endings, as I mentioned, but this full moon in Cancer doesn't mark your typical ending, right? We may feel like avoiding certain people or certain issues that surface during this time. There might be triggers that are heightened. And so, our emotions are going to follow suit and be just as heightened. And Pluto's energy can ignite deep and primal fears within us. But it's by walking through the fire and facing these challenges that we're going to be able to develop a level of resilience and power that probably before you never could have imagined you being able to do, right? So just to recap, Cancer is all about feelings, emotions, and family, which includes, figuring out how to juggle everything that you've got going on in life. Now, on the one side, you've got some serious take charge fueling your desire to ace your career goals and bring in a solid salary, right? So you can pay your bills and then some, practical stuff. Now, on the other hand, it's a clutch, to pay attention to your emotions and everyday needs. And that includes making time for a personal life. So take a beat, try to figure this out, what you can do to free up a little bit more time in your life for the fun stuff. Maybe it means, setting your email notifications to do not disturb. The second the clock strikes 5 every day so you can actually log off, or making a standing date with your bestie to go on an early morning run so you have quality time to chat and squeeze in some exercise before your day gets going. At the same time, keep in mind, Pluto is bringing in some intense, passionate energy that'll seep into your love life. You know what you deserve from a partner. So, how can you make sure that you're getting all your needs met? If you've already coupled up, don't hesitate to talk to your significant other about what more you need from the relationship. It'll only make it stronger. And if you're single, be open and direct about what it is that you're looking for. It'll prevent a lot of time from being wasted right now, okay? Now, this full moon is definitely going to impact all zodiac signs, but Cancer and Capricorn are going to feel it the most. This full moon in Cancer is inviting you to just stand up for your needs, your comfort, your security. Who or what has been standing in the way of peace for you? Confrontations that arise during this time have likely been brewing for a long time. Just keep in mind that we are in the midst of Mercury retrograde, okay? That did start, I believe, on January 14th and is happening till February 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. So you can check the channel for that video to see how you will be affected by that transit for the next 3 weeks, okay? That video is coming. But Mercury retrograde not only is going to bring like exes back into the picture and all the typical shit that you constantly hear people talking about and whatnot, but communication mishaps could come up, power struggles, just delays, period, right? So take a deep breath and be patient. Because between the full moon in Cancer, Pluto, and the Mercury retrograde, you might be feeling a sudden urge to make moves or haste decisions, and then later find out that you're not really able to do that, or you're going to have to hold out on, some things that you want to do for a little while until a better time. Now, the signs that are going to be affected the most by this transit is going to be Cancer and Capricorns, along with Aries and Libras, being that they're fellow cardinal signs as well. And when it comes to transits and understanding how you will be affected, it works two ways, okay? For a general picture, you're going to want to check your sun, your rising, and your moon signs for an overall picture, okay? For a clearer picture of how you will be affected personally, you're going to want to check what houses the zodiac sign of Cancer falls in, okay? Now, as always, I specialize in this shit, so definitely make sure that y'all are reaching out to me for a personal reading to see what's going on with you, what's coming up in the near coming weeks, okay? Everybody's charts is different, complicated, so with so many various possible aspects and things that could be affecting your natal chart, you definitely want to make sure that you reach out to me so we can sit down and do a reading and fully understand exactly how you're going to be impacted personally. Now, my website is currently down, but you can find my phone number on screen or in the description box below to text me directly so that you can go ahead and get a personal reading set up. Serious inquiries only, okay? Now let's go ahead and get into the 12 zodiac signs. Okay, Leos, so this full moon in Cancer is going to be affecting you in your 12th house. Now the 12th house can be scary. 12th house can be quite scary. Because the 12th house is known as the house of karmic endings, okay? It's the house that is considered like the unseen realm, right? And it governs all things that exist without physical forms, like dreams, secrets, and emotions. And so, even those of you guys that might be born with planets within your 12th house, usually that often means that you're very intuitive, maybe even psychic, especially if you have like water placements within your 12th house. And I know like a lot of Gemini risings tend to have that. The 12th house is scary. It's scary. It's the place that people don't want to go. It's the place that people are typically afraid of. It's kind of like when you come home and it's just you and them four walls and you're scared of the silence. Like, that's what the 12th house is. And so I'm not promising that this is going to be easy, okay? Because, again, this is a full moon happening within Cancer, water sign, emotions, okay? A lot of psychic energy there. So there might be a lot of things coming up, a lot of emotions that are tied to just either your everyday waking life or, maybe even dreams. You could be having like a lot of dreams with a lot of messages right now, a lot of prophetic messages. So you definitely want to make sure that you're writing down your dreams right now. Just whatever's been going on under the surface for you over the past few months may rise to the top this month, okay? And things could very well get emotional, and it's likely that you'll be in two minds about a decision that you have to make. Now, the outcome will ultimately be both therapeutic and a relief, since you'll have some sort of closure on a situation, but aim to be methodical rather than purely instinctive with your decision making process, because as hard as that might be under the influence of these extra powerful moonbeams, it's also time for personal reflection and relaxation. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like, yeah, I gotta make this decision. Yeah, I have like all of this bullshit to get through, and da da da, all of this trauma, da 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 da. But like, if you kind of change your perspective on everything, it's like, okay, well, on the other side of that wall is peace. You know what I mean? It like, there's peace, there's relaxation, there's closure. So it's all about just framing your mind. Yeah, just framing your mind and figuring out how to deal with this. When you look back at this phase later on, you'll see what occurred, whether big or small, was the right thing that needed to happen at the right time. And that's also imperative of like why you guys need to make sure that you're reaching out for personal readings, because it really depends on how you're trying to set up and what all is aspecting you, where are your planets, what houses, what zodiac signs, and all of that, because that determines whether what happens right now is big or small. Regardless, though, like I said, in the end, you are going to realize, okay, that was necessary, even if I did not see it at the time, right? This full moon is urging you to take more time for yourself, to rest, to recharge, map out the steps that you need to take to make your dreams a reality. You might even be spending a lot more time just by yourself. Again, it's all about rest, about closure, about ending. So engaging in practices like meditation and journaling are wonderful ways to process some of the seeds that your subconscious may unearth during this time. This full moon is asking you to release self-defeating behaviors and negative thinking patterns. How have you been your own worst enemy? And how can you ensure that those patterns are left behind in the dust? It's time to rest and release, okay? So, I'm not gonna lie, trauma may come up, but just deal with it. Get on your shit before shit gets on you, okay? And so your full moon self-care practice is carving out a daily meditation practice. If you can't imagine spending an hour meditating, then start small. Even 5 minutes a day meditating over a period of time is going to instill a much needed sense of inner peace. And that's all it's about right now. Okay, so keep in mind this is a general reading for your overall sign, so it's not necessarily 100% going to resonate. So definitely make sure that you reach out either via Instagram through the DM or the phone number that is available on screen or in the description box below to figure out what the fuck is going on with your life, okay? Everyone's charts is set up differently, okay? So just because you are a Taurus or a Leo, or just because you're a Cancer, and this is a full moon in Cancer, doesn't necessarily mean that that is exactly how you're going to be impacted. Again, it is a overall general view for the collective zodiac sign. But yeah, definitely make sure that you reach out to me for a personal reading so we can figure out how you will personally be impacted by this transit, okay? So we can figure out what houses are, being transited, and, all of that good shit, okay? So reach out via Instagram, DM, or you can text me directly and we can get that personal reading going, okay? So, damn, it's been so fucking long. I don't even know what the fuck I used to say at the end of these fucking, child, life be lifing. Life be lifing. Something about putting you back into the universe. I don't remember what the fuck I used to say. It's really been a long time since I've done a fucking video, okay? 111 when I said that. Yeah, go book a reading, and I will see y'all in the next one. Be looking out for the Mercury retrograde video coming. There might be a weekly astrology video coming as well. And definitely, we got to do a video about the North Node switching into Taurus, okay? So those videos are going to be coming. Look out for those. Tell me what you wanna be.